What's up, guys? Welcome back to DCA. Today, what we're going to do is talk about Ethereum. We're going to look at Ethereum historical price data month by month for Ethereum USD, Ethereum Bitcoin, and Ethereum related to the entire altcoin market. We're going to see which months it has performed best in and how you can use this information to guide your buying of Ethereum going forward. So, additionally, we're going to look at the Ethereum risk models for the USD, BTC, and altcoin markets. Okay, so we're starting out with Ethereum USD. Right now, we're sitting at around 4,600 bucks. We're 45.85 at the moment, and we've actually just broken above this resistance level that we had formed at around 4,300. Now, it's been honestly a pretty lethargic breakout, if I do say so. Volume's been pretty weak. We haven't really done much since we've broken above this level. But, at the end of the day, Ethereum has actually done this multiple times before. It sort of breaks out of these price levels. For instance, you can see here we break above this 350, 360 level, and then just sort of go sideways for some time. It's happened multiple times before. It's not really unexpected, let's say. We've started forming this sort of long consolidation phase for Ethereum back in May when we hit that peak at around 4,300 on the 11th or 12th. And, we tested it here around September 3rd or 4th. And then we finally broke out about 170 days later in the end of October. Now, we've said multiple times in the past that that move was very similar to what we saw in 2017. And if you go back then and look when we broke out, so this was 163 days where we tested this prior all-time high, weren't able to get above, came back down, and then got above 163 days later compared to the 170 days later that it took during this move. But critically, we got above and then just sort of lethargically, similar to now, moved sideways for a couple weeks. So from the 24th until about the 12th. So now we've been above since, October 28th, and here we are on the 14th. So it's been about 16 days or so, 17 days. This isn't to say that we need to see a massive breakout in the next couple of days. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. And there's a few reasons for that. And we're going to talk about those right now. But Ethereum has tended to break out of these price resistance levels and then just sort of be lethargic for a few weeks at a time. So I don't think this is anything out of the ordinary. Now, the more macro scale picture of Ethereum, back in 2015 started forming this long uptrend, just a general uptrend where we'd get way above the trend and then come back down to it, kind of sideways and then down. Then we got way above and then came sideways and down. Now, this trend actually lasted about 1,000 days. We hit this nice price resistance, floor and resistance level right here at around $400. And you'll note that, it acted as resistance for some time until we broke above it. Then it acted as support until we fell through. And you can see that we fell through right where this resistance level, or this support level, converged with the long uptrend. We've actually started forming a new uptrend, that started around the beginning of March of this year. So if you look here, we're just on this long uptrend now. And, it's been around 700 days at the moment. So obviously we aren't going above as much as we did back then, but the market cap was much lower back at this time. So we're not getting the same kind of separation from the trend line that we were at the time, percentage wise anyway. So you see that we've got above and then we come back down, and then we get above, we got back, above in May and got overheated and it needed to come back down. And this has been reflected in the DCA index risk model each time. Each time that we're significantly too far above and need to come back down, we've reached these higher risk levels. Okay. So here, here, and here in May. So each time on the Ethereum USD DCA risk model, we've reached these higher risk levels when we were overheated. So right now we're only sitting at a 55, which, definitely not overheated. It's certainly not a bear market either. So we're just sort of hanging out in between, in between these levels. So ultimately what we want to do is take a look at what Ethereum does with respect to USD by month. And so let's go ahead and come over to these charts then. So this is the Ethereum to USD by month and how much, Ethereum has either increased or decreased each month. So the first thing you'll notice is that first half of the year is a very, very good time for Ethereum in general. So 56% in January on average, 42% in February, 41% in March, 36% in April, 52% in May. And, almost every single one of these months. So 5 out of 6, 5 out of 6, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, 4 out of 6. These are all green months for Ethereum typically. Now, when we come to the second half of the year, things get a little bit gloomier. So, our only two down months on average are September and June. And then July has been a wash so far. And then October, November, and December, while not terrible price-wise, they're not great either. And it's been more of a mixed bag. So still generally positive though. So 44 out of 75 months have been positive. Okay. Okay, guys. So this is Ethereum Bitcoin. So now we're looking at the ETHBTC valuation. And the first thing you'll notice is, again, we're forming this channel, this accumulation channel that, we also saw with the ETHUSD price. Okay. So this started back in around May when we broke out of these lower levels, starting at the beginning of the year, we came back a little. And then in March, we really kicked it up a notch and came into this channel. The market corrected. And now Ethereum has sort of been in this channel and is attempting to break out. So we're sort of sitting, just above the middle of the channel at the moment. Now, something interesting you'll notice is this floor that is forming with this channel at the moment has acted as a price floor and resistance level in the past. This is 2017. So this is where Ethereum hit around $400 right here. And this is where Ethereum hit around $1,200. Okay. So the first and second week of January. So it's just interesting that this same floor that we're forming right now acted as the floor in the prior bull run in 2017. Now, a few other interesting things to point out here. So like we showed with ETHUSD, where this trend converges with this resistance and support level, ETHBTC also saw sort of a similar trend. And this floor and resistance level and this long-term uptrend, when they converged here, when they converged right here, this is where things really started to get bad for Ethereum, when it broke through this convergence. So it broke through essentially two price floors at once. And that's when the price went just crashing down, especially with relation to Bitcoin, technically with respect to both Bitcoin and USD. So it went from about 400 down to around 80. And it went from here at around 0.055 all the way down to 0.016. So it lost a lot of momentum, both with respect to USD and Bitcoin. And then it just sort of formed this, this new resistance level formed at the upper end of this descending wedge that it began to make. Okay. Then when we finally broke through around here, sometime, I guess if you drew it out, probably sometime in January of 2020. Now, again, just like with USD, and not surprisingly, we're sort of forming this new price floor. So we've been ascending ever since January, essentially, with respect to BTC. So it will be interesting to see what happens, with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is able to go much higher, then I have a feeling that Ethereum will continue to gain with respect to Bitcoin and could ultimately break this resistance level that we're seeing right now. And it's it's going to be right at around 0.084. So if we can get above that, that's ultimately how you're going to see your $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 Ethereum, if it can break this, resistance level. Okay. Now, just quickly to look at this, and this is perhaps more important than the previous chart we looked at. This is actually Ethereum to Bitcoin month by month. And again, you'll see the first half of the year is really Ethereum's time to shine. So this is with respect to Bitcoin. And you'll notice that Ethereum just really knocks it out of the park the first half of the year. So if you're holding Bitcoin and Ethereum is typically outperforming Bitcoin in January, February, March, April, and May. Whereas from June on, so from June until December, Ethereum does pretty poorly with respect to Bitcoin. Okay. So, we're in November right now and sort of not doing too bad with, in relation to historical trends, but there's still time in the month and we could still certainly bleed with respect to Bitcoin. And same thing goes in December. 2 out of 6 times Ethereum's been up with respect to Bitcoin, and that was in 2017 and 2018 in December. Other than that, it's been down every year, okay? And sort of the same thing goes for November. Very anemic results at best, okay? So 38 out of 75 months have been positive. So now let's take a look at, we can look at those graphically now. So this is Ethereum BTC on the left and Ethereum USD on the right. And you'll see the first half of the year, okay, the first half of the year is excellent for Ethereum, both with respect to Bitcoin. So this is January, etc. And here's ETH USD, and it does very well in both BTC terms and USD terms in the first half of the year, at least up until May. And then things start to tell a different story quite quickly. So it goes all up into pretty much all down. And remember, if you're holding a mix of these things, even if you're up with respect to USD, if you're down with respect to Bitcoin, that means your opportunity cost of owning Ethereum, you lost out on potential profits by not holding more Bitcoin in the second half of the year. But it also makes it an excellent time to start accumulating Ethereum. Okay. You can start accumulating during this time as the price of Bitcoin, especially if you're in a bull market, as the price of Bitcoin is going up, you can be selling and acquiring more Ethereum. Okay. In preparation for the first half of the year. You don't want to be buying during this time because the price is already up. You want to acquire it prior to the price going up. And historically, that's exactly what happens. Okay. So last thing we'll do here is just quickly take a look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin DCA index. And this is again showing the risk level of Ethereum with respect to Bitcoin right now. And again, we're just sort of sitting at this middle 0.5 level, or, the 50 level. Okay. Finally, this is the Ethereum to the altcoin market. And I actually find this one pretty interesting. So this is showing you the risk of holding Ethereum in relation to the rest of the altcoin market. So all of the other altcoins. This is back in 2017. Ethereum has bled with relation to altcoins basically all through 2017, all through 2018. And then in, you know, the latter stage of 2018 started to form a trend reversal and has since been gaining ground on the altcoins ever since late November of 2018. You can see we've been making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and mostly higher highs all throughout this time, save for right here when we actually spiked on the Ethereum to altcoin risk model. We spiked right here, hit into we got all the way up to around 90. Okay. And then from there, Ethereum bled with respect to the altcoins. So from this point in time, from the middle of February, or sorry, the first week of February, even though it went on to make a nice move, it bled with respect to the general altcoin market. Or, you know, that's not one specific altcoin, it's all the altcoins. It bled with respect to the other altcoins. And then, you know, has been sort of back on its upward trend since then. Now, this is key here for the altcoins. This model will mostly be in this range. What it is going to identify is extremes. It's going to identify when Ethereum is severely undervalued or severely overvalued with respect to the altcoin market. Okay, so it told you right here that Ethereum was in general undervalued with respect to the altcoins. And likewise, it told you right here, Ethereum is severely overvalued. So this is when we first hit the spike here at the beginning of January, when we said Ethereum is overvalued with respect to altcoins. And you can see altcoins from that time in general have outperformed Ethereum. 300% for Ethereum, 500% for altcoins. That's sort of, in general, how you would use this model. Now, just the last thing I want to quickly show, this is the monthly Ethereum to altcoin level, okay? It's the same tail, kind of. The end of the year isn't so good, and the beginning of the year is better. Now, this is certainly more of a mixed bag you're getting here, but in general, the beginning of the year is pretty good. It's definitely better than the end of the year, where you tend to be down with respect to the altcoins. Okay. And overall, they actually are performing pretty close to one another. So remember, you can't take any of these numbers to the bank, and they're all, you know, market cycle dependent. You have to apply some reason to these numbers. You can't just say, oh, every January is great, so I'm going to FOMO into Ethereum. You know, stick to your strategy, stick to your your risk levels, your DCA plan, and go from there. Yeah, that's going to be it for this one, guys. So if you're interested in the DCA index models, head over to the Telegram channel. You can sign up for them there, and I'll send them out to you as soon as possible. Until next time, see you.